Hey everyone, this is episode 60 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is, I wouldn't say Sam Lady's biggest fan, or I don't think he has any fans at this point. OSG, how's it going, sir?
Oh man, set the tone right off the bat, huh? God dang Sam Lady. But
Yeah.
hey, all right. Otherwise, it's a holiday as we're recording today on a Monday, Labor Day. Uh, it's okay. It's okay. Tough weekend. Got 1 point out of the whole weekend. Scored 1 goal out of the whole weekend between all three. So that's the mood I'm in.
Oh yeah, I figured. And watching, Houston Dynamo 2 has been a chore already. We'll definitely talk about that. And I mean, everyone except the Dynamo have been doing pretty bad. And here with us as well to talk a little bit more about that is Herman as well. How's it going, sir?
It's going dandy, sir. It was nice to take off my alarms last night so I can sleep in this morning.
Definitely. No, yeah. Labor Day, we could definitely use it, and obviously here to discuss all the happenings from this past week. And Juan Pereira might be joining us soon as well, so he should be joining us sometime throughout the episode. But still, we're here to discuss the 4 games that happened this week. 2 Dynamo games. The Dynamo coming out with 4 points in the last 2 games. Definitely exciting. What was not exciting was, as I mentioned, Dash and Dynamo 2, which we'll get into as well. First, we're going to go ahead and review the Dynamo. We did record separately for the game against Columbus, and we're now going to go ahead and review LA Galaxy after that. So, in the meantime, we're going to cut to the Columbus review. Alrighty, guys, so we just came back from watching a very amazing, stupendous Dynamo game against the Columbus Crew. Tied to as his highest scoring team in MLS as of right now. It was going to be a very tough game, and they ended up holding them scoreless. So 2-0 Dynamo. I was yelling at my house right now. I'm kind of losing my voice, but I was so happy with the win because it was a tough result. That second half, it was extremely stressful, and I'm happy to talk a little bit more about that game because it was amazing how we got those 2 goals and also how the team just performed. You could say it was a complete performance, but I'd like to hear what you guys want to say because it's just a lot of emotions right now.
Statement game.
You think so, OSG? You like it? The vibes are immaculate.
Statement fucking game, bro. Even I even posted that this morning. Columbus, 14 of their last games, they've only lost once to Portland, and then they tied whoever the hell they tied in Leagues Cup, and lost in penalties. They're on a roll. They're fifth in the East. They friggin' the top scoring team in the league prior to tonight. Speaking of, St. Louis passed them up because they fucking whooped Frisco. But dude, oh man. So this was a game that was kind of sketchy for us. Granted, we're at home. It's Columbus. We proved our point. We made a statement game to the MLS. So extra time, Weeby, Bogart, time to give the Dynamo credit. Time to give the Dynamo credit, bro. Y'all pass it on. I'm gonna tag y'all fools tomorrow morning, or I'm gonna tag y'all fools when this episode comes out, so maybe you can listen to us asking for your respect. That's what's up. H is up.
No, yeah. And Mao saw the game. He was able to get into the press box and get the feel of things. So I'm sure he had a pretty good time.
Oh yeah, excellent time. Hearing the crowd roar when we score, or when we're building up a dangerous attack. It was not many of us tonight, but at the same time, we make a lot of noise when we're all in unison. So
10.8 to be for fact.
I was waiting for the stadium to announce it, but they never did. So yeah, and it felt like 10.8. But
Yeah.
regardless, the people that were there, they were into the game. You know, there was periods of time where we dominated possession. You can hear the oles from the crowd, or when Quiñones had that a couple through balls and they looked like a dangerous attack. You can feel the roar from the crowd wake up, and it was fun. It was fun tonight for sure. Had a great time. Had a blast.
No, yeah, just to start the discussion with the starting lineup, it's the starting lineup you would expect at this point. The only main
If it ain't
change,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah, that's pretty much what I said, and I mean it worked tonight, so it's gonna stay like that probably against the Galaxy. But I feel like it's gonna be a couple changes though. But this game though, it's I mean, what can you say about this back line? Like Sviatchenko like slotted in, and obviously he didn't like have like a he came in the middle of season. Obviously, it's gonna be like a little bit hard time to adjust into things, but obviously his experience is very valuable, and he's holding it down in that back line right now, which is very nice to see. And and the most credit that's deserved, at least for me, is Mikael for sure because I've already mentioned this in the last episode, but credit to him for just like standing up despite hardship or of like getting eliminated after the League Cup and yeah, just having some like individual mistakes, and he's been able to overcome that. He's stepping up. He's blocking all the plays that are getting through, and he knows where to be at all times now. So I'm happy for Mikael. And I'll see what can you say about Dorsey and Franco Escobar? Like they're just amazing right now as a unit back there.
Well, let's talk about a couple things then. Dorsey on the right, sold, solid. Don't bench him unless you're resting him. Escobar on the left, sold, solid. We're not going to go after a DP left back. Sorry, Juan, if you're listening. We're not going after no DP left back next season. We have our back four right now, which hints the other question, bro. The way Mikel's playing. I'm sorry, teenage. Do we need you next year anymore? Do we need you? I mean, we have the option to buy or option to extend. I don't know because you're a DP as well. So, a lot of fans are asking that question. Mikel has shown like he's proven he's cheaper. He's doing a great job. We know what Hidebe can bring. We love Hidebe. He's a fan favorite with Houston. So, right now, Ben's saying I tell you the truth, I don't know what's been saying, but like I mean, if Mikel keeps playing the way he's playing, I'm sorry, teenage, find another job.
And
I mean, we're supposed to tell the truth, right? When we do these episodes, our opinions don't matter or do matter, but we're supposed to tell the truth. But so yeah, Herman, what you got?
Yeah, no, I if we can negotiate with Hadibi to, buy that down, that'd be great. But Sviatchenko, to me personally, I'm not gonna give my seal of approval like I am for Mikael because so what happens is, and I love this revolution that we're having right now. This is I criticize Ben Olsen for playing a defensive style, but now he's being more aggressive. Yes, we start up with a back four, but what happens is Arthur slides in the middle, and Mikael and Sviatchenko become like left and right center backs, right? So I think that Sviatchenko is a little slow to be playing on that edge, but like Andres mentioned, he has that experience. He knows when to anticipate. But there's sometimes where he gets beat. And a good example is the yellow card he received tonight. And even he knew it. As soon as he made the foul, he knew that, yeah, I hit him hard and I had to hit him hard. I'm going to go check on the player. So that's my only worry. We play that back three. I hope he doesn't get burned trying to chase a winger. That's all I'm trying to say. And because we play the back three, now we have the freedom to go forward. And that's been to me, the light switch for this season, right? We started being so compact, so defensive, winning these tight games. Now we're actually being aggressors. And that's all we asked, Like, let's try and attack. Let's try and dominate. Well, what happens now is with these wingbacks that you mentioned, Now we're spreading the field, and now the ball eventually finds its way through Ache and Coco, that's where the magic happens. And then eventually it'll find Andres' favorite player, he's taking advantage of his chances. That was a filthy finish,
Definitely.
man.
I have nothing bad to say about Berdinho right now, and you heard me.
Berdinho. Yeah.
You heard me.
Yes, sir.
You heard me say it. Berdinho right now. Like what the friggin' f? God damn, bro. Where did
It
like? Hey,
reminded me of Messi's goal versus Arsenal in the Champions League, where he kind of just chipped it. Berdinho's a little savage, man. So, hey, I like him on the wings, but he's producing, and it's hard to argue with goals, right? Goles son amores. I don't know how to say that in English, but they make you fall in love, OSG. Goals make you fall in love.
well, yeah, bro. Like he's kind of been shit for as a striker to begin the season. Like we know he didn't do shit, and then we brought in Liu, and then everybody complained because Liu can't hit the damn target. And then we put Baird back, and now Baird is hitting the target. He's hitting the back of the net. And bro, that's what you're supposed to do. And Baird is putting more effort in. It's not like he's just like disappearing. He scores a goal and then disappears the rest of the game. He scores a goal and he plays hard the rest of the game. He's doing his friggin' job. He's doing his friggin' job. So like I said, respect. I got nothing bad to say about the man right now. I don't know if you're gonna get 10, Foxtrot, but we're getting close. Only 4 away.
Almost there, and he's her number 9 as
Yeah.
things stand right now. So, but
Yeah, that's
but
true.
yeah, and obviously like Steve Clark, definitely one of his biggest games this season yet. Like it's we definitely got a clean sheet thanks to him. Like 2 massive saves in the second half to keep Columbus scoreless. He was on top of it, so credit to him for just being like that massive again. And I don't know, at midfield, what can you say? They anchored things through. Although I feel like this game, mostly just in the second half, but like for this game, they had like some issues trying to contain the ball, or at least moving forward. But that was just like I'd say 2/3 of the second half, like only because Columbus is just like Columbus midfield and like the final third is just like insane. So I definitely don't blame them for like that kind of somewhat losing control of possession at times. But we had the first half pretty good. They got those chances created. I was so sad that Achachi didn't score that one that hit the crossbar. I was so upset. And but yeah, other than that, like these guys are balling out, which is just good to see, and I'm happy.
Bro, they're just like they're playing on another level right now. Like I said, MLS take notice. Aston take notice. And Dallas, whatever, Frisco, whoever you are, if you're listening, take notice. We are playing great soccer right now.
The question I have for both of y'all: what did y'all think of Nelson Quiñones' performance tonight?
Insane. Like the first half lights out. Like he was just insane. Like I was telling because I usually watch my games with my brother, and I'm like, I'm so glad they purchased this option because I was gonna be so upset because remember early in the season like he wasn't doing that great that warranted like for him to stay after his loan deal and that those last 2 months of the deal like definitely like helped him stay but yeah you're seeing his growth right now and what's to come because like this kid's a beast. Like he absolutely knows where to slot the ball, like run it down the flank and beat the defenders. He did this like 10 times. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating that for tonight, but like it was just insane. Like I'm excited to what's to come because he's so young. Like people need to see that, and I'm just amazed by his growth so far.
Bro, I'm gonna on TikTok. I'm gonna go tell I show speed. The fucking sorry, excuse me. The Ronaldo freaking I show speed. I show speed belongs to Quinones, bro. I show speed belongs. He was taking advantage of everybody with his speed, and he knew he could outrun you. And he didn't have an edge, and he played the ball past you, and then he would just run past you and body up, and just have the next moment. Sad that he had that one shot that wasn't on target, but it was on kind of, we'll call it on goal, and everybody compared him to a Liu right then when it happened. Like, shut up, man, shut up. Like, he created the opportunity, he just kind of missed his target, whatever. But Aliu's, man, I mean, not Aliu, Quinones, something special over there on the left side. And we still have him for, what, 5 more years, I think his contract was?
I asked the question because that's exactly how I feel. It's, yes, his speed helps him dominate on that left side, but the final touch is where I need to see that next step in his development. You know, you can see his intention. His intention was to finesse it bottom of the keeper's left, and he missed it by not that much. The next step is finishing those plays or making the cross, right? Because he dominates that right back has no chance. But I need him to make that pass more precise, or at least put the shot on target, right? So I'm excited for the growth. We understand this is a developmental player. Just wanted to get y'all's take on it.
See, I'm not worried about his shot. I'm not worried about his pass. I'm worried about sometimes he over dribbles himself because he's using his speed to his advantage, and he forgets to take the ball with him. And that's been his biggest negative so far, is he out dribbles himself, and the defender's able to win the ball. And you can be predictable, but you can't keep up with the flash at the same time. So it's kind of hard with the slow ass right back.
Speaking of over dribble, and then I'll give it back to you on this. From my
Don't bring up Bossy.
No, just kidding. The Aliu goal, I thought he blew it. I thought he over dribbled, and he kind of went to the left and took an angle away from himself. You know, I thought he blew it. I thought he hit the side of the net from my point of view. Truthfully,
bro, I was the whole time. I was like, come on.
Oh my god! I was on my knees praying that he will please make this goal, because I cannot take it anymore. Like, I cannot take like he's like on the roster. He's the unluckiest player for the wrong reasons, and I've always defended him because like he creates the chances, and like, but it's just like his final touch and the finishing is sometimes like just at the wrong timing, or just has like the heavy hit, and it just sucks sometimes because he has that bad luck. But thankfully, like, he was subbed in and was at the right place at the right time to start the counter, and he got the ball at the back of the net, which is all that matters to me. And it's definitely like tough in that situation, because like if you're 1v1, you have like a split second to figure out what to do before the defenders say just come right at you. And thankfully, because he was that fresh, he was able to like get away from them and like find enough time to get that shot in. But yeah, I was so happy that he got it in, because I was like, finally.
That goal was a relief for him personally and for the team, because the 5-10 minutes prior to that goal, Columbus sent everybody, man. They were knocking on our door. We were holding on for dear life to that one.
Well, that's what created the opportunity too at the same time.
Right. He ran out of our own half, you know. He had the entire second pitch, half of the pitch to get his shot ready.
And you being in the press box had the best friggin' view of the night to see that friggin' goal, bro. Like, that's the only problem with the press box. It's in the south corner, 18 yards from the goal line. Like, but you get to see the best goal. Like I said, when I was at the Dash, the Maria Sanchez goal was right there in front of my face. You got to see a Leah goal right in front of your friggin' face. So I know, like, you were like excited, and I hope y'all celebrated in the press box. We did during the Dash game, but we didn't realize the opponent wasn't even in the room no more. So we had to look and be like, "Oh, sorry. Oh no, never mind." Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I was outside and no one's making noise inside, but outside I'm like a fist bump, you know, like I stand up, fist bump, be a quiet one, you know.
The one thing I I wanted to bring up as well is the fact that how Brad Smith is being utilized. Like I love how he just comes out of the bench and he does whatever he wants and it works. And he almost got a goal tonight. It like off the header. Like he could have scored that, but for like I think it was a corner kick, but he didn't get it in. But still, like he's like even outside of corners, like he's just able to like run the plays on the wing and just be involved, which is just insane to me because he just like I said, he can definitely contribute if he wants to at this point, which is just great to see.
OSG the
Dude,
professor, clear something up for me. Is he when he
all right.
comes on? When he comes on, I still haven't figured this out. Is he a left back, like stay back and defend, or is he a left wing? Because dude, he feels like a left
So
wing.
so so when he comes on, we're parking the bus.
Right.
So we're not playing the 4-3-3 no more, the 4-2-3-1 anymore. We're playing the 4-4-2, and if you put him at the left back, which he's not coming in as the left back.
Mhm.
He's coming in as the left midfielder.
Gotcha.
And so he's still more attacking, but he knows how to defend at the same time. So he's securing our park the bus, but
Mhm.
he's given that attacking effort at the same time. So when we do have the opportunities to push back. So we're not just like straight up giving the ball up every time and like we're going to sit here and defend the whole time.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity to attack the team that is pushing so hard and take advantage of them pushing so hard at the same time. So yes, he's a great utility right now, and I'm glad that he's finally found his form. And whew, woo, at least one Baldy's doing it because we know the other Baldy doesn't deserve an opportunity.
Andres is right though. Smith is our super sub.
He
Oh
has
yeah, it's
become the super sub. You're right, bro. You're right, Fox. You're right. You're right.
no yeah, him and Ali. You have to. I'm gonna have a competition on who's like the best super sub at this point. Like if it keeps going like this.
Take an assist from Smith and a goal from Aliyu every time. Let's go.
I'll
Let's
take it.
let's go. We're repeating LA. Repeating LA.
No, yeah, yeah. Like I mentioned previously, like the second half, it was very tight, and I was very stressed that Columbus was getting back into things because they know how to definitely score goals. Not only that, but also to like adjust to other people's defenses, which they've been able to do time and time again. And oh yeah, I was just still amazed that they got that clean sheet because like I felt like it was gonna be like a matter of time if like the defense didn't step it up, but they were there, and a lot of credit goes to Steve Clark again. Still,
No. How many clean sheets in a row during league play? How
four
many?
now. Yeah,
4 in a row. 10 goals scored, none against. 3 wins and a 0-0 draw. 4 clean sheets in a row in MLS play, bro. Like, that's what's up. Against Colorado, uh, against Portland, at RSL, and against Columbus. So the defense is taking over, and then we're just attacking very well right now. And Benny Ball is playing Benny Ball. And there ain't nobody that can say Benny out right now. There is nobody that can say Benny out. Nobody.
yeah.
I was against
Question.
Benny, but he's playing more attacking, and that's all I asked for. So I'm good with it.
He had to make adjustments, right?
Yes.
We asked for more rotation, and we haven't been getting that, but we did get it last weekend. So, like, hey, let's see. Now let's see what happens at LA Galaxy on Saturday, which is sounds like it's going to be a 5:30 Central game. By the way, they're
Damn.
playing. They're playing in the prime time of LA, so even better, even better. So I don't have to stay up all late to no 9:30 game. It's a 5:30 friggin' game. So
Yeah,
we're good.
finally, like our West
Yeah,
Coast time is actually reasonable.
yeah, bro. Like
Galaxy's
so,
losing
destroy
now
it.
too.
Yep, the Galaxy is losing. Oh no, I take it back, bro. Like I'm not sure because Apple reported 5:30, but I'm still looking. I'm still seeing on the app it's 9:30. So I'll take it back. We'll
It's
see.
9:30 p.m. actually. Yeah, it's I just checked the app.
Yeah, I checked my calendar
Yeah,
at 9:30.
yeah. Apple was lying today. Apple was lying, bro. fuckers. Yeah, Portland's being Real Salt Lake right now.
Yep.
Seattle did beat Austin, so if Portland can beat Real Salt Lake, we're in fourth. So I mean, we're still there though, fifth, fourth, whatever. We're still close. We're pushing envelopes, and
So
the league is taking notice.
LAFC, Seattle Sounders, second and third respectively with 40 points. Your Houston Dynamo with if the result stands, San Jose beating LA Galaxy right now. Fourth and fifth, Dynamo and San Jose with 38. And then 6 and 7, Vancouver and Real Salt Lake with 37. So from 2 to 7, there's only a 3-point difference. So every game matters right now. Every game matters.
Well, live standings as we speak, Vancouver is in fifth because of 37 points. That's the live standings. So live standings.
Excellent.
And currently, Austin is in 10th, below the line. I hope they love it. I hope they suck it. They're not touching mine, though.
No, yeah, it's it's been a while since I've seen the Dynamo this high in the standings. Like, I cannot honestly remember the last time, aside from early in the year, like in 2017, 2018. But well, yeah, it's just crazy.
Bro. Herman, speak up. What you got, bro?
No, I am a fan of this back three. I'm a fan of the wingbacks pushing up more forward, widens the field for the opponent, and eventually the ball finds its way to the middle of Coco or HH, and that's where the creativity happens, So no complaints over here, man. It's really fantastic because Ben Olsen instilled that defensive style at first and that clean sheet and that grit. And now you're seeing kind of incorporate some attack and you're seeing the blend of it, right? And tonight is a perfect result, right? We started pressing. We wait for them to cross over midfield to press them like dogs. And when we steal the ball, that's when the opportunities happen. That's how we got the first Bear goal, right? Dominate the game. But also, towards the end, we're parking the bus like we were at the beginning of the year and looking for that counter. And thankfully, Aliju was able to score that and take us to the promised land. So it's a mix of styles, right? Like at the end of the game, when you're defending for a result, I'm okay with that park the bus style, but not for the first 70 minutes. And now the Dynamo are being the aggressor. Now you're hearing Oles. Now you're seeing the ball go out from the wing back to HH, who gives it to Bear, who gives it right back to HH. Little give and go, give and go. Now you're seeing some chemistry, some actual buildups, and that's all we wanted to see. So, I'm starting to believe what you said at the opening of the episode. This is a statement game. The next game, I could argue the same because we should beat LA Galaxy. And we need to beat LA Galaxy if we want to remain at the top where we're at right now.
Definitely. And there's that competition, so that you just mentioned. So it's going to be a big game for Houston, and we're definitely going to go ahead and review it after this, since chronologically it's going to be Dynamo and Dynamo 2 and Dash, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Let's take us out, bro. To the next one. This was a great win. Let's move on to LA. Let's beat LA. Like you said, Herman, statement game because it is a road game. So we do need to go win on the road. We only got 2 of those this year. One of those being in LAFC and then one being in RSL. But we got to keep performing, and we have to just make the league take notice of what we're doing right now. And it's just something. And like you also said, we're not defending the entire game no more. Trust the defense, push the attack. Let's play both aspects of the game. Sam Lady, take friggin' notice, bro. I'm sorry this turned into a Dash moment right now, but Take friggin' notice, bro. Use your players to their talents. Like you're, oh, dang it, bro. Like, come on
It's
with
okay.
it.
It's okay. We're gonna talk about Dash this weekend, so we'll have a lot of time for you to vent about Sam Lady, like whatever happens against San Diego.
I'm venting before the game even happened. Like, let the girls attack. Yeah, they play so much
Alrighty.
better. No, Herman still got something else to say.
Real quick
Yeah.
side note. I forget who reported it out. No official offer from a European team for Coco as of right now.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. We want him to stay anyway. So,
I just reported the news.
I mean, we.
Yeah.
Reporting the news.
Hey. So speaking of, we talked about that in China today. What if Coco stays? He becomes a DP next year. That's fine. We either buy down Teenage or we let him go, and then we sell Sebas. Hopefully, we can sell Sebas. And so Ache and Coco are the DPs, and that leaves us one DP. The DP to get that attacking player we want. It will not be a left back DP, Juan. So we everything is just. I'm fine with Coco being a DP and staying with the team. Somebody's going to want him, though. Somebody's going to want him. They're just going to have to pay what we want.
Exactly.
If you want Coco, come on, Bo. Come on.
Pay
Just
up.
wanted to report that.
Pay it.
Wanted to report that. Our job's to update the fans on Dynamo news.
Yes, that's true. That's true. If they haven't seen it, if they're not seeing it, get out the friggin' wall or get off Facebook. I always see those Facebook people like asking questions like 3 days late. Like, bro, like come to Hinchada, fool. Like you'll keep up. Like follow some of the people on X. Like you'll know what's going on. Don't rely on friggin' your Facebook group anymore. We'll tell you what's up. You can talk about it too. It's an Hinchada. Come on, man. Where you at, people? Hit me up.
Definitely.
Hit one of us up. We'll tell you how to get there. You can follow the news.
Yep. Oh well, yeah. That was a bit of a tangent, but we'll continue with the episode, and like I said, you're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a lot of time to complain about Sam Lady, depending on what happens against the Dash, or the Dash against San Diego this weekend. But well, yeah, it's a road game. They might do good, but there's only a few games to go, and they have to win. So there's a lot of stakes.
We move.
Alrighty.
Next.
Yep. Alrighty, guys, and welcome back. We're now going to go ahead and review the road game against LA Galaxy, a 0-0 draw that, for the first time in a while, it definitely felt like a winnable game for the Dynamo. I don't know how about you guys, but that's the main thing I got out of that one, because we've been playing very well in the last 4 games. Obviously, coming out of that win against Columbus back at home and trying to get a result before the international break. It for me, it was pretty good. Like I was definitely okay with a clean sheet, but I would have definitely taken the 3 points here.
Did you at least Ben didn't trip up on the rotation? Sorry, no pun intended, Aliyu. But yeah, the rotation, we finally got five different reserves got to start this time, including Tarbell over Clark. Clark wasn't even on the lineup period. Nobody really knows what happens, but I'm kind of remembering the timeline. I think it might be his son's 1-year birthday, but don't quote me on that, and don't hold me to it either. It's just my kind of assumption, because I don't think he's hurt, for as far as we know. But man, that game you said was very winnable, and LA had possession, but we looked like the better team. We were getting better shots off. And just unfortunate, man. Just unfortunate we couldn't put one in. The biggest one that everybody's crying about is Aliyu, and the man checks 9 out of 10 boxes as a player, but the 10th one's finishing, and that's the one that people are focused on and saying he's horrible and he's a terrible player just because of it. But I'm telling y'all, man, he's gonna start hitting his target, and he'll find his way and he'll find his groove, and y'all gonna be like, this is the next best thing, man. So. I just wish he could hit his little groove before the end of this season, so we ain't got to go into the off season with so much hate for him. But man, otherwise, you said it, winnable game.
Just to add on that, Steve Clark, don't quote me on this. I have not confirmed that he was sick the morning of the game, so that's why they took him out. But I have not confirmed that. That's the reason I saw for that, Torbell starting. So, but yes, winnable game. Um, in my opinion, just looking at the standings, but it's kind of tricky because the LA Galaxy had a rough start to the season, but they've been kind of playing well here of late, and it, yeah, like you said, OSG, Aliyu is the one that stands out, but we created other opportunities as well. We This was a winnable game on the road, and happy to get at least 1 point on the road. Hopefully next time it's 3.
But yeah, and going back to the lineup talk, first Aliyu, I feel like a lot of people have already forgotten that we're in an Open Cup final thanks to him, and he's also been contributing a lot when it comes to assists. Given that, I guess like the reaction is mostly just like him missing the opportunities, which I guess is okay, like to criticize, but at the same time, I don't think people can just call him useless just based on the fact that he's already like scored a bunch of goals on his first year, and just really create those like key opportunities in games. So there's that. Steve, it was definitely weird that he was a late scratch, but I'm guessing there were those issues or just those things going on in his life. So I hope everything's okay. Or if it's his son's birthday, very nice that he's able to spend time with his family. And also credit to Tarbell for stepping up big time because he was there for a couple stops that definitely helped the clean sheet. So I'll see Tarbell coming up pretty much with a late call up or at least a late start or just really probably last minute notice. But yeah, just credit to him as well.
Tarbell is 5-0-2 now in all competitions this year, undefeated. And that one tie was obviously a loss because it turned into a loss against Orlando in PKs, but it still counts as a tie on record.
Yeah, that's very nice as well, and good for him for just like improving his form because there was like a couple of games he was kind of off, but it's just good to know that he's on his toes still. And I think for this game, Shevchenko, I think he was on a yellow card precaution or at least like one. I can't remember correctly, but okay.
Yeah, he was.
And I just wanted to make sure.
How do y'all like his performance?
For Tarbell?
He didn't play. Ramon, who are you talking about? He was talking about Eric, who was on a yellow card accumulation. So he didn't play.
Talking about the new Sebastian.
Oh, Seba? Yeah. So he was definitely finding his channels. I really liked how he played, and I've been looking forward to him to see how he keeps growing, and he's been getting a lot of opportunities, which is good to see. So he'll get there eventually, like to get his beautiful like goal scoring opportunities. So I'm excited for him.
Yeah, man, he's a little quicker on his feet than Bossy, but Bossy's more of that precision passer. So it's kind of like they've each got their little intangibles, and it looks like they're just going to trade places with each other and take turns starting, I guess, whatever. Bossy will probably get more starts until Seba really gets into the fold of the team.
And just to reinforce your opening, OSG, Galaxy kept possession. It was like, to me, it was a balanced game throughout. But look, shots 11 Galaxy, 9 us. They had 4 on target. We had 3. They had 55 possession. We had 45%. So balanced game around, and it was a winnable game for us. So just reinforcing your opening statement is all with some stats.
Yeah, possession was probably the only difference right there that kind of stood out. But yeah, you could tell Galaxy was attacking more, but we were attacking better. And then our defense, as always, was just as strong. And Bartlow getting a start next to Mikhail was great. Unfortunately, Mikhail came out with a hip injury late in the game or a high thigh injury, which I think he's going to be fine. He gets the 2 weeks off right now as well to heal up. So we'll be good. I think you also mentioned Caicedo got the start in Arthur's place. And who else? That was it, right? No, there was 5 that started this game.
Yeah, Barlow got the start over Shevchenko, I believe.
Status.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Stairs over Escobar.
Again, yeah. No, honestly, like I've been very impressed with the performance. Like even though that game could have been a win, I'm still gonna take the clean sheet. And heading to the international break, one of the things I brought forward, like on Twitter and in the subreddit, was the fact that they're going into the international break like with 5 consecutive clean sheets and 3 wins and 2 draws, which I don't. It's been like a very long time since I've seen this like this late in the season, or just a significant improvement like from early on, where we were able to like spot the gaps and the technical staff was able to like make those adjustments accordingly. It's amazing, honestly, just how this team is progressing and how we're positioned in the standings, because we're in a pretty good spot to like even reach second place by next week or like the week after next week because of the national break. But I'm just very pleased with how the team is performing and how they've been improving as well.
So you mentioned international break. Real quick, two things on that. So not everybody has the weekend off next week because they've had games rescheduled because of Leagues Cup or whatever like that. So uh, Los Angeles LAFC, who has a game in hand, plays that game, so they could increase their second place run on us, or they could stay where they're at and let us catch up. So there's 4, 5 games next weekend for teams who still have to play a game, who are down a game. And then the second note, since you mentioned international break, is Ache is revived and is making it to the Mexican camp. Now, guys, y'all calm down out there. That doesn't mean he's going to start for Mexico. For some of you whiny babies that, oh, he's so old, he don't need to be on our team or whatever. He's playing the best soccer, I wouldn't say of his life right now, but he's playing the best soccer of his life right now, and y'all should be happy that he's on the team and bringing that leadership role and that midfield role and to the team. So man, y'all live with it, and if he doesn't start, hey, Dynamo fans are good with it. I don't want him to start the Tuesday game. He can start the Saturday game and let him rest up before we take on St. Louis at home when he returns.
Yeah, we also got Coco representing Panama for the CONCACAF Nations League. So I think the good thing about this international break is that since we're not going to be playing any games, we won't be missing them up until when they return. So that's just something to look forward to. And one of the things I also wanted to ask you guys before we move on is how do you like the progression of this team when it comes to how they started and where they at right now? There's definitely like there were certain expectations to start the year that it was going to be a a really tough turning point, or rather just like try to like figure things out with Ben Olsen's first year. But it looks like, at least for me, like the product it's there and it's showing out. So, and I'm happy. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, look, there's two things said on this show that we've been asking for was rotation and attack. And it seems like he's figured them both out now. We're actually, obviously we didn't score a goal last on Saturday night, but the previous games, 3 games, 11 goals. So the attack looks a lot better. We look more dangerous. The defense is stout as always. So we asked for, can we attack a little more? We're starting to get that. And then the rotation of players, starting to see that a little bit, where the bench players are actually getting starts and better minutes. So that because depth is going to be very important when you're trying to make a run at the end of the season and into the playoffs. So, two things. So, right now, I have no issues with the way Ben is coaching and what he's doing. I wish if the women are on international break too. I was going to say, if they're not, can Ben go coach a game for us one time? Because he seems to have the same tactics as Lady, but now he's pushing the team up and Lady's holding the team back. So sorry, the wrong segment, but I have no problems with what Ben is doing right now, man. Everything seems to be kind of coming into the fold at what he's been saying all season, and the transition is coming together as a whole and as a unit, and it's actually quieting down some people too. They're not so harsh on Ben Olsen at the same time.
And then just to put the icing on the cake to OSG's comments, I agree with him. Our biggest critics when we started the year was, hey, play more attacking and do some rotations, use your depth. Well, he silenced those critics. He's doing that. It's exciting to see. If at the end of the year you tell me going into the last international break before playoffs, you're sitting in 5th place, I would have called you crazy, and I would have taken it in a heartbeat. That's where we're at right now. So I hope they regroup during this international break. And this is it, dude. Like coming out of this break, we're pushing for the playoffs because the gap between 8 and where we're at now and second place is so tight that every game matters now. So kudos to Ben Olsen for having us here. Now, please finish the job.
Yeah.
You know, as a fan, we're greedy, right? But you would have told me 5th place by this time of year, I would have been like, let's do it. Take it to the bank. I'll take it happily. So big kudos. I was one of the critics. I was one of the critics.
We all are. We all were. Yes, we all were. Yeah. But yeah, coming out of the break, we have 7 games left in 7 weeks. We do have a bye right before our final game of the season, but we have St. Louis at home, Vancouver at home during the middle of the week, at SKC. Then we host Frisco, at Montreal, Colorado. Montreal, I think, is middle of the week as well. And then at Portland to finish off the season. So, looking at that schedule, at SKC, Frisco at home, St. Louis at home, of course, at Portland to finish off the year. I mean, those are the tougher ones of the 7 I listed, but these games are very, very winnable for the Dynamo, and to continue that push and maybe get a home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, which would be very interesting and intriguing. And then we'll see all the fair weathers come out, or the bandwagoners, not the fair weathers, the bandwagoners. I don't even know if the fair weathers will show up still, but the bandwagoners will. So
yeah, we're already there for. They're gonna show up for the Open Cup final. I feel like mostly just because of Messi, but still, when we get better, hopefully we beat Miami. It's gonna happen. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Miami made a statement last night. They sure did, beating LA in LA 3-1, LAFC 3-1. So, it's funny. They're one game. They got a game in hand still, which they're going to play this Saturday. And if they do that correctly, let me quote it real quick, because that puts them, with their win, it's going to put them. They have 25 now. If they win tomorrow, they're going to have 28. Or not tomorrow, next weekend they'll have 28. So it puts it. They're moving up the friggin'. They actually got 2 games in hand. So let's just say they win them both. That puts them at 33. Puts them in 10th place. Friggin' nuts.
Yeah,
friggin' nuts.
They just need to get into that. They just need to get into that 8 and 9 spot to get in the dance.
Yeah. We're better than 8 or 9. So let's just continue this run and get our butts up, bro. Get our butts up, please.
Alrighty, guys. So Juan Pereira is going to be joining us for the conversation. Obviously, it's going to be about Dynamo 2, which was a 3-1 loss at home. Dynamo 2 on a 3-game losing streak in a very key part of the season, because we're only at this point we're going to be 3 games away for the end of the season, and we're looking pretty bad shape if they want to consider playoffs. So, but yeah, how's it going, Juan?
I'm tired because the game, even though the game didn't end late, it was just so exhausting being there. I was with Herman in the press box, and we could see a lot of stuff. And yeah, and what I remember, standing out to me was that we didn't play bad. It wasn't a bad match by Dynamo Dos. And usually when they play well, but they can't finish chances early on, that's when things start to go wrong. Because I told Herman this before the game, like they got to get out on the front foot. Like they got to get things started quickly. Because if they don't, then they're going to lose momentum. The other team's going to counterattack, and then we'll be doing some bad passing, which could lead to even more errors. And I feel like that's what cost us today. Not being able to get a goal early, get some momentum, because you already know when this team gets the ball and they're able to control it and do what they want with it, they're really one of the best teams in this league. But again, some of the youth that's showing right now, a lot of guys that are young, maybe they're nervous once they're down because they know they need goals. So a disappointing result. I do think we can play better. It was just disappointing. I don't know what else to say about it, because we could have won that game.
Well, it even showed in the stats, and I'm sure Herman's got the stats pulled up for us right there. We dominated the game, but let one guy score a friggin' hat trick on us. So you're pushing, a counter, we give up a goal. We're pushing, a counter, we give up a goal. And the team plays very well. They've been playing this way for weeks and weeks and weeks, and Bundy's got a good rapport with them. And they're just, but like you said, they're not hitting their chances that they're taking, and then it backfires, and you go down 2-0 early. You thought maybe we were able to come back in when we got our goal and made it 2-1, but then that friggin' dude goes back and scores again later on, and just it's crazy looking at the stats too, man. It's just like we shouldn't be losing 3-1 like that, and we me and Andres talked about this a few weeks ago. These final games, all very winnable games against teams that were below us, and it starts off with the LA2 losing 4-0. Now St. Louis losing 3-1. Granted, St. Louis has been in a very improved team, which now they're in 5th place in the standings, and we fall to 7th or 8th. Sorry. So it's just crazy, man. Like how well we play, but the scoreline shows us a different story.
And Bundy touched on this in the press conference. He touched on 2 points. One is that his feeling was that the scoreline doesn't reflect the way we played. We imposed our will, but they were, I forget, ill-imposed or self-inflicting wounds is the exact words he used, because the first 2 goals were giveaways in the final third that led to a quick counter that STL capitalized immediately, you know? And the second one is that he noticed that his team is mentally fatigued, you could say. He specifically called out that we're missing on the simple pass, or we're not taking our first touch correctly, and we're making simple mistakes that get magnified that lead to these mistakes. And then just to end my note here, OSG, I got some stats for your ass. Okay,
Bring it
so
up. Bring it up. Let's make it worse.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so yeah, we will make it worse, and it reinforces what we're saying to these listeners to not just say that we're homers, right? So we both had 9 shots. They had 5 shots on target. We had 2. But using this new age data, movement, we had an expected goal of 1.0. They had an expected goal of 0.6. And you touched on the kid having the hat trick. That goal to start the second half, he just let
Banger.
it rip, bro. He had no
Golazo.
angle. Yeah, no
Yeah.
angle. He just let it rip. It came out of nowhere, put it top bin. Goalie couldn't do anything about it.
And just going back to that, that was like the most annoying part for me because you could tell like late in the first half they were trying to get back into the game, and going after halftime they had to carry that momentum still. But that third goal was definitely brought things down for them, especially to start off the second half, like because that was the last thing they needed, and they didn't carry that momentum, which it was definitely like just upsetting for me while watching that game.
Very,
So
very.
for Juan and Herman who were at the game, us were stuck watching it on TV, and it's hard for us to give a valued opinion because the camera shows us what we can only see, but y'all can see everything. Teenage got to start again. How did Teenage do in y'all's eyes, Juan and then Herman?
Okay, so I'll go first because that was like my main point of emphasis from the press box was looking at Hadebe. I shadowed him almost the entire game when I could, and I thought he looked very solid. I mean, from the press box, you can kind of get a view of the whole field. So I was able to see his movements with Maples, which was very important. I remember
Yes.
I saw him making the correct pass, especially when Maples would move up a little bit, maybe join the midfield for a couple spurts at a time. I could see Hideki being an anchor, which was really, really good to see. And physically, he looked fine. He never looked out of breath. He didn't look like something was bothering him, which scared me last time because he only played 45 minutes last time, and I remember him falling before halftime. And then they had him doing runs, but none of that happened. He played 70 minutes today. Um, Played just fine. I talked to Kenny Bundy. He said that all the medical doctors and people in the medical field are, keeping an eye on him. But his job was to make sure that he's like mentally fit, which I could see from the press box right there. Like he's ready. Now it's all about getting him the full 90 minutes, which is the goal. But overall, I feel like that was one of the good positives from this night. That Hadebe was able to play an extended period of time, and he played it well with Maples. I agree that, like we said, that first goal in the second half was a golazo. And the other two goals, really, I don't blame either center back. They were just lazy turnovers in transition that then you're outmatched. Like, there's little you can do in those situations as a center back. So, all in all, I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, and just to put the bow tie on this, I agree with everything Juan just said, but he looked way better physically than when he did the last home game.
Yep.
Like he might have tweaked something that previous game, but this game, I think the plan was 70 minutes. So they're slowly working him in, right? 45, 70, then eventually, hopefully the 90 minutes soon. But he was sprinting hard. He wasn't holding back like the first game. You can tell
Yep.
he was being smart, astute about what he's doing. There's no holding back last night. He looks better physically and 70 minutes. So hopefully next time we see him, it'll be longer. Or
Full
with the
90.
Dynamo.
Yeah, I just hopefully it's a way for like the first team to share wins at this point because some of the teams that we cover need those wins. Dynamo 2 being one of them, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But yeah, Dynamo 2, third consecutive loss for them, and they have 3 games left in the schedule. 2 of those on the road, with the next one being against Timbers 2 over in Portland.
This weekend.
It's
While
This
everybody else is on
well,
international
this weekend.
duty,
yeah,
Dose plays this weekend. So that's our only
Mhm.
game we have this coming weekend. FYI, y'all.
Yeah,
which
I kept-
Hadebe will start again and play. I don't know how many first teamers, which probably hopefully none. I'm so glad that Gasper didn't get to play, kick his butt, take him out in the trash or whatever. But yeah, so Hadebe may be close to that 90. And just real quick, sorry, Andres. Hadebe last year when he came back from the African Nations Cup, it took him a long time to get back into mental fitness, which is crazy because he played every minute while playing for his team, and then took a 2-week vacation, and then was struggling just to get back into the first team for the Dynamo last year. So for some reason, it takes him a lot longer to get fit, but hopefully he's working back at it, and then that'll be a problem every coach likes to have. Mikel and Hadebe right there.
Yep.
And I think obviously
Definitely.
right now it's going to be Mikel, and then Hadebe will just work his way in, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
And
100%.
Juan, I don't know if you remember, he was speaking so fast I couldn't write down his answer. I asked Bundy, hey, couple tough results here in the past weeks. One tonight. How do you calm the team down? What do you tell them? How do you prepare them? Because this game in Portland is very critical. And I can't recall his exact answer. I don't know if you do, Juan.
I remember bits and pieces of it. I mean, he speaks really fast sometimes,
Yeah.
so you can't really catch everything. But it was something along the lines that his staff have to prepare the team, make sure that they put yesterday behind them, and knowing that every day is an opportunity to get better. It was something around those lines, and take the pressure off the players so they can play how we know they can play, which kind of touches on our points that this team doesn't play bad at all. And he also said something about like no other team in the league can say, "Oh, we just battered Dynamo Dos." Like we always play well. We're always a tough team to face. It's just some mistakes and maybe the pressure got to them a little bit. So I feel like that's what he was trying to imply.
Right.
That's what I heard.
Right. And then the other question I asked him, hey, you received this goal to start the second half. Your subs tend to be man for man, not a change in tactics. You stick to the 4-3-3. Do you wish you would have been more aggressive? And
I remember that question.
basically his answer was not really. My goal is to put the players in the best position for them to shine, for better or worse. I'm paraphrasing here. But for the Dynamo, those fanatics, he clearly stated, our goal is to help the first team. He
Yep, I
told me
remember him saying that. Yep.
he clearly stated that. So it's good to hear that from the head coach himself directly, not just us assuming. So just want to throw that
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
for the Dynados fans.
Yeah, I remember that when I asked about Hadebe, like he reinstated like the whole point of the second team is to help out the first team, which really stood out to me because we know they're in a playoff push, but he sees the bigger picture, right? Which obviously I really like, and I feel like that's a good quality, as the head coach of the second team. So that really stood out to me when I heard that at first. But it makes sense. I mean, the first team, he also said there's like a final in Miami in the 27th, the playoff push. So anything he can do to help the first team helps all of us. So very surprised by that answer, but now that I think about it, it makes a lot more sense.
That's some very good input after the game for sure, and it's also good to understand like what goes behind the scenes. But it kind of makes sense that the Dynamo 2 essentially just serves the first team, and
Mm.
and yeah, we'll see how this goes because they kind of have to like win out the remaining games if they want a good spot, but we'll see how that goes.
Yep,
But
just win the next three. Win the next three.
no, yeah, and
And
to continue
speaking of that
yeah,
one home game though, especially for these two guys, a lot of us are going to be there for the Frisco game, and we'll probably be doing some tailgating and all that good stuff. And uh, so get there. I think y'all get there early, anyways. But get there early, come out and hang out with us. Kenny Bundy's family usually right next to us too, so you can get some good quotes from some people if you
Yep.
want. Interview some of us Sergis if you want before y'all go into the press box. And I think even Foxtrot's going to be there as well. So
yeah,
Yep.
I planning to go.
the whole team's going to be there, but we're going to be in the stands while y'all over there in y'all's little hot box. Well, I guess you get AC, so it's not a hot
Yeah,
box.
it's a pretty cold box. It's a
We need
pretty
to
cold
All
box. I'm
right.
not gonna lie.
we need to take a staff picture, dude, in the park in the tailgate.
Yep.
Us four.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll
Oh,
work.
that would be
100%.
awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The whole dynamic Foxtrot group, man.
Maybe we'll have a design for the T-shirt by then.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome, man. But
no,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean that last home game, it's gonna be hype. I mean, this team's had a lot of ups and downs, but I can definitely say this team's a fighter. Like as a whole, they fight. Like they always give their all, and I'm pretty sure that's what Kenny Bundy wants above all when he's developing players. So I feel like they deserve to have fans show out for that last game at home. Now it could be a lot of pressure. I imagine because I would imagine we could still be in like a push to make the playoffs on that last day. But I do hope the players enjoy it. If a lot of people come in, I highly recommend people go to those games. I know everybody wants to talk about Dynamo and Dash, but those is a fun time as well. Like you get to see the people that you could see in 2 or 3 years' time making an impact on the one team and seeing them grow. Like even like from the couple games that I've been at the press box for them, just being able to see that growth game in and game out, it's just awesome. And that's the thing about younger players. I mean, they can develop at the pace that they put themselves to. If they really dedicate themselves, they can go. The sky's the limit for most of these players. So it's just exciting to watch, and I hope people show up on that last home game. Me and Herman are going to be in there in the press box, asking questions after the game, pre-game, getting ready. But I hope a lot of y'all show up because it's always a fun time.
no, yeah, and I recommend showing up as well. And but that's gotta be a lot of optimism already for this episode because it's time to talk about the Dash. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, last game of the weekend. Dash going to San Diego and losing 1-0, and it was one of those tough games. Dash playing with 10 players for about 60 minutes, so that kind of paints a picture of it. But there's just a couple of things to talk through because Houston had like a decent defensive performance because this game could have easily been like 5-0, and just still just upsetting to talk about, especially I want to see what OSG thinks because he's got a lot to talk about.
I can't wait to hear this.
Oh my god, dude! I mean, San Diego first off kicked our butts, kicked our friggin' butts, and I think it was once Alozi, or how the announcers were just butchering her name, Alozia, was playing,
Yeah,
and friggin' Alozia, like come on! And then the other one was doing it too. Like I didn't get to listen to Glenn because I wasn't at home, so I was watching it on my pad, so I had to do it on Paramount. But bro, like, come on! But speaking of that red card, that's a hard red card for the referee to pull. It was all the way far on the corner. It was barely across the midline. You had Katie Lind, who was 5 yards technically behind because we had a damn football field on the soccer field, so you could easily tell how far apart was. With if she was able to continue her run, yes, it would have been on goal. But at the same time, she would have had to cut across towards goal. I think Katie Lind could have made that up. And so that's just to me, just as a referee, from my perspective, that was a kind of harsh red. It should have been a yellow. But it is what it is. Alozi went on to X last night and even apologized for it, and she feels so bad for putting her team in that situation. Um, but as far as the game, man, like Jesus Christ, man, I was just getting so upset with the way the Dash play, man. Just the way the Dash play. Like, we don't press high at all. We know we're a defensive stud of a team, like defensive stud of the team. We've given up 15 goals the entire friggin' season, played 18 games. So that's less than a goal. And I think the next closest one is 21. Then after that is 25 goals given up. So a dominant defensive team who refuses to attack the opponent. Lady needs, here I am coaching Lady again. Lady needs to push that press up, bro. A higher press, and force the opponent to find their way moving forward instead of allowing them to. I think the press is like 10 yards onto the attacking half, which you're almost allowing them to move up to the midfield, and then they only have 50 yards to go. If we were more like the way Ben presses with the Dynamo, to push the team up higher, allow them to make the opponent make mistakes, and then you've got the ball in a better attacking situation than when you do finally win the ball in our own penalty box, and you got to clear out and go 100 yards to even have an attempt on goal. That also being said, it was so hard recognizing a friggin' shape last night with the team. The midfielders were not in sync and not in unison at all together. Even sometimes you could see the back line. It was like a drunk guy was painting the lines on the field. Like, there was no shape, and it was just so hard. Like, the teams tried to move out and get out of the back, but then their options are not there, and they're not working together as a unit. And you know, I say it, some people say it's the players. I say it's the coaching. It's going to be a mix of both, but that's something as a coach that you need to see and you need to be working on at practice and fixing, and having these girls, work together as a unit and get, since we're going to lay back so far back, how do you get out of the back? You work your ball up as a unit and as a team, and half those options aren't there, and you see them kicking it forward, and then we lose the ball, we lose possession, and it's coming back against us, and we're on our toes defending the entire game with a great defense. So there's just some adjustments Lady has to make, man. And he's just not making those adjustments timely. And then I don't, I don't know if Sarah Loud has to be saying something to him, to be honest, because we've seen the way she coaches. You can see the way what she's tactically learning on her own, with what she's learning with Sam. Like, Sam, take some advice from your other coaches if you're not right now. It doesn't seem like you are, because I don't see no changes in the way we're playing the game ever. Even being down a man and being late, we still didn't try to push and try to get that tying goal even down a man. And teams can still play with 10. The Dash have proven it 3 times this year. A very strong team with 10 freaking players. So it's just incredible to me, and I don't understand what the heck's going on with this team, and we're suffering bad right now. Bad.
So yeah, getting Michelle Losi sent off that early was definitely the last thing Houston wanted, and it showed like the repercussions, because Houston barely attacked, 0 shots on target. That tells you a lot right there. And like, even though the opportunities were there still, like, I didn't see like any clean ones. Pretty much what the theme has been this year, and I know, yeah, just going back to like the defensive performance, like, it was pretty decent, and it could have gone like south very quick. Like, even though they lost the game, the defense still showed up. So like, a credit to them, but still, like, we've been saying that a lot this year, and we've been losing a lot of points, just because we've been lacking that efficient final third to like get the goals, and it was just annoying, because they are one of our most important pieces, which was Halosi this year, like probably like one of the best players in shape to like get us in that level, just missing, and I wouldn't like really want to like blame the whole game on her, but we need all the help we can get at this point. And just going back to your point as to what Sarah Loudon has been saying, I'm sure she is. She has something to say to Sam Lady because it's been we haven't won a league game in 3 months now, and that's not gonna get us a lot in the first place. And in the final stretch of the season, where you have to win, get your points, how any miss necessary, it's just disappointing, honestly.
And real quick before you said decent. No, the defense was stellar as always. 32 shots. XG for San Diego 3.68. 32 friggin' shots, bro. 32 friggin' shots. And we did only give up the one. Granted, they hit the woodwork 3 times. They barely missed the goal a couple times. I mean, we were just taking shot after shot after shot. And that goes back to where I said the midfield was just missing yesterday, and San Diego was allowed to get into our attack. And Alex Morgan is friggin' a goddess up there, and she's just so dangerous. And Shaw, who scored the goal, just San Diego, they're in first place now because of that win. So, granted, San Diego deserved every single bit of it, but it's just friggin' crazy. But defense is just to only give up the one for what they took yesterday. That shout out to the defense all year. My player of the year is Didasco right now, and Jane Campbell, just because she had a rough start at the beginning of the season, will be my number two. But Didasco is just a friggin' iron woman right there. That she just kills it every friggin' game, and now she's playing on the opposite side that she's not used to. It's a little different, but she's still killing it over there. So shout out to the defense. So y'all hold your heads up.
Just to re-emphasize OSG's point on the defense being stellar, regardless of the loss. Stats: 61 possession, San Diego Wave, 39 dash. Now keep in mind, red card in the first half, obviously it's going to skew these, which emphasize OSG's points. And this is the alarming stat right here. Shots, dash 6, Wave 32. 32. They had 12 on target, we had none. But just to emphasize OSG's point, they had 32 shots and only came away with 1 goal. If there's any bright light in this performance, is that the defense stood tall, and the goal, it was more of an individual performance. The striker took on the goalie. She knew what she was doing and scored, sadly. But just emphasize on OSG's point that the defense came to play. It's tough to be one down with 50 minutes, 55 minutes left to play in the game.
So yeah, and I'm gonna be more interested what the adjustments are gonna be in the next game, because they do have the week off, and they do play Racing Louisville the Friday after next week, which is gonna be a road game. So they do have those 4 two road games and 2 back at home. So actually, wait, sorry, one home game, sorry, and three on the road. So key final stretch, they're gonna have to win things out if they want to get considered or have a pretty decent chance of making the playoffs at this point. So it's fingers crossed, because I kind of feel, yeah, just going back to what I said initially about the defense, it kind of sounded like I haven't been giving them a lot of credit, which they should. And I'm guessing I'm just more upset at the fact that they have to get more points out of the games that they've been missing out of. But the defense has been there to cover them a lot. So credit to them.
Gave up 15 goals in 18 games, but only scored 12 goals in 18 games. And then the next to the worst team is not even close. That, yeah, like Juan just said, insane, bro. I don't know if you got to watch the game or had any insights onto the game you would like to talk about.
Actually, I do want to talk about what you were saying about the pressing. I do think that Lady's going through an identity crisis because he likes his defense, right? But the thing about pressing is that it's such a difficult technique. It's a very difficult technique to get coordinated correctly, right? So what I'm thinking is that Lady doesn't want to concede any more goals than he needs to. So he abandons the press for more defensive security. And now I'm not saying that the Dash players aren't good defenders. They're great defenders. They've shown it. But I do wonder if Lady's a little bit scared to shift to a more pressing style, knowing that they could possibly be more exposed to some more goals. but I do think that he needs to press more. You can see it. That's what the best teams are doing right now. You have to put trust in a defense that's been doing so well to hold it down in a bit more dynamic system. You can't just play. I'm going to say park the bus really. When you're down a man and you need to score a goal, you have to press. You have to create something because you 1-0 doesn't serve you anything. Like only like the records of we've only around 15 goals in 18 games. That's pride at that point. You have to win the game. So you have to press, you have to be dynamic, you have to make something happen. And I felt like they were I think Lady was like preaching like do not let them score another when it should have been we need to score one. So that was my main thing about the game. I watched some of it. That's the thing that stuck out to me.
Right, and you're right about the press, but and you said scared, I said stubborn, then you mentioned his pride, and it's all three of those. Like, bro, but you've had the entire season. Now you're down to crunch time. You're in must win now. You're 6 points out with 4 games to go, which means you probably got to win all 4 if you even want to have a chance to make the playoffs. Bro, you have to make adjustments. 18 friggin' games plus the 6 that we played in uh, Challenge Cup.
Challenge Cup.
Make the friggin' adjustments, bro. Forget. So what? We're down 1-0. We have to score, and we're proving that we can't do it in your style. Where it is park the bus because the press didn't. He doesn't press from the opening whistle. It wasn't. He made adjustments once Alozi got her red card. He did make an adjustment where he took out the cam and put in another defender. So obviously you do that when you give up a red card. You take out an attacker, put in a defender to replace the defender that was taken out. But man, he has to recognize he has to take some risk and he has to take some chances because at the end of the game, it was still a friggin' loss. And you didn't do anything about it. You just gave up and you said, I'm sticking to my friggin' guns. And that's an epic failure. And he's doing it week on and week on and week on. And Sam, like I said, if you're listening to the show, bro, I've always appreciated you and I was happy for the hire. But right now I'm begging you to do something friggin' different. Please, man, please do something different.
Something different. Something different. I feel like that's the message right now.
Yeah,
you have to try something. Because if you don't try something, we're just going to stick for mediocrity. And even if it fails, I just want to see something different. I just want to see the team actually like have the fight in them that we see from maybe Dynamo or Dynamo Dos. Like you don't see it from the Dash right now. It feels like we're too complacent
the fight we saw from last season. The fight you mentioned from last season, it's not like the team has changed dramatically over the past year. There are some additions to the team. There's a new coach and all that stuff, but this team is so very capable, and they prove it on the defensive side. And you got those same offensive players, and you brought in more offensive talent. And Dressa Alves finally got her 12 minutes yesterday, which I was happy to see, even though she wasn't involved in the game, which is kind of hard when you're playing a man down in the position you're in. But oh man, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to do that little interruption right there.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yep, and I mean now you got to win the last 4. I mean that's the message. Like you can't hang around this game a bit too much. I mean San Diego are a great team. I feel like that man down really hurt them. So hopefully they can reset. Lady like takes a look at himself in the mirror and like talks to himself and says that something has to change. Like I hope that happens. Because you can't just keep playing like this. I mean, if they keep playing like this, maybe we'll get a draw, a couple of draws, maybe 1 win, but that's not enough. It just simply is not enough. So, it's all or nothing right now. That has to be the mentality.
Yeah, all or nothing for 2 of our teams. Because the third one is doing pretty good. They've been doing a lot on the field, but those 2, it's all or nothing at this point if they want to have a shot at the playoffs.
Yep.
Well, yeah, another couple of busy weeks for them. Even though the Dash and Dynamo are going to be off for this week, Dynamo just are going to play. So we're going to be back next week to talk a little bit more as to how Dynamo 2 are doing. Hopefully a win, but we'll see how it goes. Just hoping for the best here. But, well, yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And you know it, stay noodle.
H is up.